Okay, here we go. Hello, how are you? My name is Matthew. You are in the moment, the 21st day of May. It looks like the sun is going to be making an appearance. I think I saw it just before coming on this show right now. So sunshine in the forecast for today and tomorrow. But not in here to talk about the weather. I have eight things here on the whiteboard. I'm just going to be in here for a few moments. I will be going into work later today. My work schedule has changed, which gives me the opportunity to be talking to you at 10 after 10 in the morning, when most people are already going about their day, if they're not already there, some type of afternoon shift. But I'm going to talk about work in a couple of moments. But what I first want to start off by saying is I want to wish my parents a happy anniversary. My parents are celebrating 59 years of marriage today, and my father is celebrating a 78th birthday today. So love you both, miss you both. Have a great day surrounded by family. So I'm going to dedicate this show to my parents, celebrating a wedding anniversary. My dad's celebrating a birthday. With my background in radio, kind of doing the stuff in and out all my life, I've always done my shows as if my mother is watching or listening, because 9 times out of 10, my mother is. So have a great day to the both of you. Love you. Okay. So that was one of the 8 talking points. So again, I really appreciate if you're able to hang out here in the moment live. Please feel free to leave comments. Let's converse back and forth. And if you're watching this at your leisure, I appreciate that as well. Here it is, a Wednesday, this 21st day of May. I'm going to go out. I'm not even going to go out on a limb here. And for the record, I don't follow the NHL in any great length. I watch highlights in the morning. But if there is a team that I'm interested in watching, we don't have cable here. Everything I watch is mainly off of YouTube. So I can find a channel where I can listen to the play-by-play. And I have been following the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm going to say this right now because I know I have people who watch the show who are Edmonton Oiler fans, have been their whole lives. But I'm going to say that the Oilers, even though they haven't even started the West Semi, which starts tonight, the West Final. The West Final starts tonight, Edmonton in Dallas. Edmonton, yes, is going to win that series. I am going to say right now, just after 10 o'clock on a Wednesday in late May, that the Edmonton Oilers will defeat, I'm going to probably say Florida. It'll probably be a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup. There's no guarantees. But I'm going to say right now that Edmonton will win the Stanley Cup, playing Florida 4-2. Those are the numbers that I'm going to throw out there. I'd be interested in your thoughts. I want to spend some time talking about my day on Monday or Sunday. Sunday was the 22nd annual Bluenose Marathon here in Halifax. The weather wasn't that great. We've been under some overcast conditions and cooler temperatures and some showers for the last several days. Like I said, we're hoping to break out of that fairly soon. But I went into the city. Sunday was my first day off in like nearly a year. But I wanted to go in and capture the moment, see the participants running in this Bluenose Marathon. And I thought, what better spot than to go to Historic Properties, where I've done many shows with Robin. So I went to Timmy's. I got my extra large double, my little packet of Timbits, and I went and sat in the general vicinity of where the fireplace is. And if you've seen any of my shows, you know where I'm talking about. So I was all alone in there, and I was getting ready to do just a quick show when I got a message from Rebecca. And Rebecca contacted me because of a show that I did a couple of weeks ago in regards to the soul that was lost in Halifax Harbor. So having that going through my mind as I even made mention of it in the show, in that show Sunday, I even say, listen, I don't know what happened to this individual. I now know that Chris did not survive. So, and I mentioned that in the show, that I'm getting this private message from this relative. So I do my show. That's now in the back of my brain because I know later on Sunday I'm going to be having this conversation, trying to fill in the blanks, and I don't know what to expect. I know Jen's going to be a part of the conversation because Jen was a part of this, was a part of this tragic experience. And yeah, just a lot going on in the background. So I do my thing. I do my live show. And like I said, the weather's not the greatest. I'm now thinking it's my day off. I just wanted to come into the city real quick, see what I saw, hear what I heard, and come home. Because, as you know, Jen is suffering from long COVID, which is something I'm going to talk about here in a couple of moments, and that's going to branch off into something just completely that I hope will snowball. So I'm getting ready to come home. I have a bus transfer that's good till like 12:30. The weather is clearing up. The bus is not going to be there for another 25 minutes. I'm a 35-minute walk from home, so I'm thinking, well, I don't really need to take the bus. I'm just going to walk home. So I'm now making my way from the waterfront, and you can scroll through this story anytime you want. You may come back 10 minutes, and I might be telling the same story. So I'm now up at the new Barrington part of town where they've just renoed Barrington Street, Scotia Square. And I'm now waiting for a bus. And then I see two individuals that are at a couple of bus stops up from me. And I don't know if they're watching me, if I should be watching them. I don't know. I'm just always super cautious when I go out into the city. My head's on a swivel. That's my advice to anyone at any time when you're going out. Just be aware of your surroundings. So at one point I thought these two individuals, two middle-aged men, were going to be getting on the same bus as me. A few moments passed. I now notice that they are walking north on Barrington, heading out of the city. So I take the opportunity to decide not to take the bus, and maybe I'll walk home and see if I can have some type of exchange with these particular individuals. And I also have some posters that I've placed up in different parts of the city telling people, hey, if you're unhoused and you have a story, please contact me. So that was another reason for walking up Barrington, because there's a couple of areas where I have put up posters. So before you know it, the three of us are now walking out of the city on Barrington, and personally, I don't like being followed. If someone is like 10 feet behind me and we're going in the same direction, I will stop and pretend I'm on the phone just so that they can go by me like 20, 30 yards. Sometimes you just can't help it. But in this one particular situation, I am now in front of these two individuals, and I stop because I see one of the signs, one of the big silver steel poles that they use to put signs, that they hold signs up on, the traffic signs, directional signs. I stop at one of those because I want to put up one of the posters, and one of the individuals asked me, and I know I can probably give you the Coles notes of this story, but this is the first time I'm telling it. I stop so that these two individuals can go by me. One of these individuals asks me for a dart. Do you have a smoke? I don't smoke. The conversation started there. I don't know these individuals. They don't know me. But within 5 seconds, sorry for snapping my fingers, but within 5 seconds, I'm introducing myself and letting them know, listen, this is what I do. I've been documenting the unhoused and the population of unhoused people here in Halifax since like August of 2022. Would you like to share your story? He then said to me that, hey, you know what, you really need to be careful on who you approach, which I completely agree. But he approached me for a cigarette, so let's start there. But I'm telling you, within 5-10 minutes, I am now walking along with these two individuals, and I am now back at their encampment. I don't need to tell you what particular encampment it is, but I am in one of the 5 designated encampments. You can probably figure out pretty quick. I just told you what street I was on. But within moments, I am now inside one of the tents with an individual that I just met. I just know his street name. But I sat inside one of these tents covered with a tarp, rain dripping down on us. Remember, this is Sunday. And for 30 minutes, I sat there and heard personal, graphic, in detail, violent stories of this particular individual's time on the street. 30 years, a life on the street. Most people would have, like, everyone would find what this guy was saying shocking. What wasn't shocking was the fact that I, in the last 2.5, 3 years, have heard similar stories coming from different people. So it was just a remarkable 30 minutes. I left, the individual's name goes by Darkside. There's a picture of him and myself on my social media. So I left him with a poster. I left him with a number. When he is ready to tell his story, either here live streaming or through my radio program, we'll do that. But I can't stress enough that I am the type of individual that will make the most of every encounter. Because that encounter that I had on Sunday with Darkside, I haven't seen him since. He hasn't reached out to me in a text like he said he was going to, and that is fine. That is fine. I'm just telling you that I'm still here. I'm telling the stories, and I would love a larger vessel to do so. Remember, I'm getting the stories and I'm doing the radio program. No one is paying me to do this. I'm doing this because it's necessary. The stories need to be told. And I'm doing it outside of my full-time job, and I just think how much more educated we could all be, the more people I could reach if I was doing it on a more consistent basis. I'm just looking for a larger platform. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. Okay, that was my experience with Darkside at one of the encampments here in the Halifax Regional Municipality. And again, jaw-dropping details, but I'm just looking at him, shaking my head like, yes, unfortunately, I've heard all of the stories that you're telling me. You are just a different character in this vicious, vicious game. So the stories will continue, and I'll probably, I want to do more of the in the moment from my own apartment before I go out to work. Depends on the day, depends on the weather, but I like this time frame. It gives me lots of time to put stuff together. So if you're watching this live, hello, good morning. If you're watching this at a later date, thanks for getting caught up. A few more numbers. It was, and again, we're not always going to be consistently just rabbit hole unhoused all the time. When I started this show back in March of 2017, it was things of everything. It was my life on the camera in front of you, just trying to make, hey, this is what's happening with me. Is it relatable to you? And that's what I continue to do. But I thought this was interesting here. It was 45 years ago, just within the last week or so, May 10th, the eruption of Mount Saint Helens in Washington State, 45 years ago this month. And I saw a news show here just a few days ago. The experts are saying, and because of the technology, the instruments that we now have in place, will definitely have a better warning. But they are saying if you are alive right now, someone my age, 52, the likelihood, I was 7 in 1980. I was 7 years old when that erupted. I don't remember it. Obviously, I'm on the other side of the country, but there is a very good possibility that we will experience the eruption of Mount Saint Helens for a second time. So that's interesting to check out. Okay, I put a post up last night. Yeah, just a few more things. And again, it's 10 after 10. If you're in here watching me live, you must be on some type of break. You're on a day off. I don't know. If you're watching this at your leisure, hello. Thank you for getting caught up. I just want to quickly address what happened last night at the art gallery. Like I said, my shift has changed. I'm now Monday to Friday. I'm at the security desk on Bedford Row, and I'm there from 3 in the afternoon to 11 at night. Last night, in a nutshell, there was a group of youth. They were up in the courtyard outside the area that separates the south building and the north building. A couple of the individuals were throwing like large glass bottles like 20, 30 feet in the air. Of course, you're not going to catch those. They're landing on the ground. They're smashing all over the place. So I just tell this group of teens that they have to vacate the premises. One of the individuals got really tough just with words, doing a lot of WWE flexing. And I safely just got back in. I had to open the door and tell them to leave. When one of the youngsters approached me, I just stepped back inside, and he had worked up quite a mouthful of saliva that he quickly planted on the front window of the art gallery, and called me a bitch, and told me that I can clean that up, effing clean that up. So. I was safe. Everything's caught on camera. They left. The only real damage was, this broken glass that I'm sure was cleaned up at some point. So, security cameras everywhere. You got to pick your battles. You really need to pick your battles. The one thing that I did learn, I would never step outside the courtyard with any group of individuals in 2025. I really don't care. No. The safest place for me is inside, which is where I was, because even once I was back inside and the door was locked, this particular individual who spit on the window was physically trying to get in. So again, everything is on camera. I don't understand what's going on. I guess they could have been on their way to an Avril Lavigne concert. I don't know for sure, but they came in as a group. They wreaked havoc for a few moments. Authority stepped in that they laughed at, spit at, literally, and then they left. So no harm, no foul, all good. Truth from the booth. I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, but I put a request last night to Susie Gouldling. Susie Gouldling is one of the administrators for the Long COVID Hauler Support Group Canada Atlantic Provinces. I put a message out a few weeks ago. You probably remember. I'm looking for people who have long COVID. I want to start the discussion because it's a national crisis as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not the only one that probably thinks that. So we are going to start the conversation. I'm hoping to be speaking with Susie on Friday morning. We'll record that conversation and we'll get it up this weekend. Hopefully, I'll have to speak with Jen because I know Jen wanted me to do like 5 and put them in the can, as they say. So I have 5 shows preloaded, ready to go. So I know that I'll be speaking with Susie in the very near future, within the next couple days. I can't say for certain when it will be aired, but I can tell you the conversation for long COVID needs to be talked about here in the Atlantic provinces, because I don't believe so that it's happening. So if we can be the spearhead here, and I know there's Facebook groups and things of the such, and you can do a little bit of research online, but what is actually being done for those that are suffering from long COVID? That's what I would like to find out. One final thing as we close the show out. And if you're just scrolling through, my name is Matthew, and you are in the moment for the 21st day of May, a special day for 2 special people in my life, 2 individuals responsible for bringing me into this world. My parents, Elwood and Linda, celebrating 59 years. 59 years of marriage today. And my dad celebrating his 78th birthday. Wow. Okay, 59 years, big year next year. So happy birthday to my dad, Elwood. Happy anniversary to my parents. Love you, miss you both. Have a fantastic day. I want to close out with this. And if you've been following my show for any length of time, I'm a man of numbers. I look for numbers in things like weird coincidences and things. And this one here is just, and I guess going back to the beginning, the number 4 games to 2. Again, if you're just joining me, I am predicting, I'm telling you right now that there is nothing going to stop Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid and the rest of the Edmonton Oilers and Edmonton Nation, and how so many people, I'm hoping, have joined on the bandwagon. We'll probably get a repeat of the last year's Stanley Cup, but this year, victorious 4 games to 2. Edmonton, and I'm not even jinxing them. I don't even believe in jinxing a team. They have the talent to do so. My words from here in the beautiful port city of Halifax, Nova Scotia, ain't going to do jack to the way they're performing. Not going to happen. Okay, final number. You've probably heard the news by now that actor, the iconic actor from Cheers, George Wendt, passed away yesterday. He was 76 years old. The most amazing. Yes, it's sad. People die, yes. His career spanned much more than Cheers. But his passing yesterday, and you can Google this because I did, because I had to double check because it was just so, again, I'm into the numbers thing. He passed away yesterday on May 20th, 2025. He passed away on the anniversary of the final episode of Cheers, which aired May 20th, 1993. Think about that for a moment. One of the iconic cast members of Cheers passes away at the age of 76 on the anniversary of the final episode, a series finale, final episode of Cheers, May 20th, 1993. That is pretty amazing. Okay. That's going to do it for me. Listen, thank you for the live views. Get in touch with me. Leave comments, private messages. I've put up posts where you can just send me emails. I'm looking for those that are unhoused. I'm a storyteller, and I want to use the 2 platforms that I have to help tell your story. So just reach out to me, and we'll go from there. Okay, happy birthday, happy anniversary. Enjoy your day. To my parents, to my dad, love you both. Enjoy your day. My name is Matthew from the beautiful port city of Halifax, Nova Scotia. My name is Matthew, and you are currently caught up in the moment.